Hi, so I'm Ambuj Vashne from Uppsala University in Sweden, and I'll present our work titled 2 to Tango Hybrid Light and Backscatter Networks for Next Billion Devices. And this work has been jointly done together with Ander and Domenico from India Networks in Spain. So I begin my presentation by talking about the growth of Internet of Things. Over the past decade, we have seen a rapid growth in IoT devices. And during this time, many predictions from big companies like IBM and Cisco have stated that we will have hundreds of billion to even trillions of IoT devices that are going to be sold. But what we find is that the actual estimate for the number of devices that have been sold has significantly lagged these predictions. Now, there can be many reasons why these predictions have not come true, but we believe one of the key reasons why the growth of IoT devices has been slow is that the sustaining a large scale deployment of IoT devices at present is challenging. And one of the key reasons why it is challenging is that most IoT devices that are sold today are battery powered. Batteries can negatively impact the sustainability because batteries makes the devices sophisticated and complicated. They can negatively impact the environment as they have toxic chemicals, but more importantly, they actually add significant maintenance overhead. Just imagine you can have billions of IoT devices that are deployed whose batteries would need to be frequently exchanged. It is going to be a significant logistical challenge. So over the past few years, the research community has tried to tackle this problem, and there have been recent efforts to design devices that can operate without batteries only on the energy that is harvested from the environment. So these devices operate on small amounts of energy from the ambient environment, such as light or radio frequency signals or waste heat energy, and many prototypes have been also developed. So example include devices like Wisp or battery free cell phone from University of Washington at Seattle, or for example my earlier light sensing system that I had developed called battery free visible light sensing, or for example battery free eye tracker from Dartmouth. So all of these systems use light or radio frequency for sensing, communication, or for energy harvesting. And hence we find that the light and RF backscatter has emerged as a key medium to enable these applications. And in this presentation, we present our work that is a hybrid system that combines light and radio frequency backscatter to enable large-scale deployment of battery-free devices. And we call this system Edison. So building on these earlier works, which tackled light sensing and communication and RF backscatter in isolation, Edison is the first system to work at the intersection of light with RF backscatter. And this, during the course of the presentation, we argue and demonstrate could enable a widespread deployment of battery-free IoT devices. This is because uh, these mediums, light and RF backscatter, have challenges which prevent their widespread deployment. And we demonstrate that these mediums are complementary to each other. So how does Edison compare to the past work? If you look at some of the examples, there have been works which have integrated RFID reader in LED bulb, but the challenge with this system was that it had high cost because it was integrating a conventional RFID reader in an LED bulb, and it also suffered from very short communication range. There have been also systems that backscatter visible light using retroreflectors, um, and they achieve low power uplink communication, but then the challenge is that they disturb the uniform illumination of the room as the tags transmit through reflections of light. Edison is also related to my previous effort, which is battery free visible light sensing. This system was able to detect hand gestures and communicate using RF backscatter, but this system did not communicate from light, and it only detected very slow moving changes in the light levels due to events such as a hand gesture. Light and RF backscatter have challenges which motivate us to design Edison which works at the intersection. Next, we discuss these. First, we talk about supporting downlink communication on backscatter tags. Backscatter tags usually employ passive envelope detectors for reception. So envelope detectors are designed using a network of diode and capacitors, and these are energy detectors. That means that they detect energy present in a particular RF band. These are very low power, they consume just few microwatts of power, but they are also severely limited. These envelope detectors trade off sophistication for low power consumption. One of the challenge with these envelope detectors that we have encountered is that they can pick up any ambient traffic that is present in the band. As an example, we did an experiment where we connected the envelope detector in the sub-gigahertz band and we looked at its output. On the graph, we show the voltage from the envelope detector with time. And what we observe is that we are able to see spikes even when we were not transmitting any information. And this is because of the ambient LoRa and Sigfox traffic that was present. And this can be quite severe. We did experiment at 4 different locations in our university and we found channel occupancy, or the time period for which the envelope detector was able to detect the transmissions outdoors, to be as high as 41%. This is a problem for battery-free tags because these spikes, because of unintended traffic, could cause the microcontroller to wake up and use the precious harvested energy to try to receive these unintended transmissions. The second challenge that we face with the envelope detectors is that the RF signal propagation is not homogeneous. And the envelope detectors have poor sensitivity of about -30 to -40 dBm when they are designed using discrete components. As an example, we placed a carrier generator at a location in a room where you would typically find a Wi-Fi router, and we compared it to the light, and we find that the light is much more homogeneous compared to the RF signal. And the challenge with this is that this means that when the tags receive downlink information through RF, they have to be located in proximity to the emitter device. So combined together with that the envelope detectors pick up unintended traffic, and that it restricts the tags with envelope detectors to be located in close proximity to emitter device, we argue that light is a better medium to support downlink communication. Light is an efficient downlink mechanism, but it suffers from uplink transmissions. We also call light-based systems Li-Fi. The uplink transmissions using light-based designs is challenging because we can support this by using either an LED or a retroreflector-based light backscatter design. The challenge is that LEDs can be energy expensive, and both LEDs and retroreflector based light design suffers from the directionality of light. This means that the receiver have to be appropriately placed close to the light transmitters, and this can be challenging for many application scenarios. Further, supporting uplink through light can also be quite unpleasant because this could disturb the uniform illumination in the room. And this is where we believe that RF backscatter could be an efficient uplink mechanism for Li-Fi systems, in particular for battery-free Li-Fi systems. So Edison leverages this complementary nature of Li-Fi and RF backscatter. An Edison tag could receive information through the Li-Fi infrastructure, and it transmits using energy efficient backscatter mechanism. Edison in a typical home deployment could be supported by having a lighting network that provides the illumination in the room. The Edison tags harvest energy from this illumination, but also receives the downlink information. Next, through the Wi-Fi router present in the house, the Edison tag could receive the RF carrier signal, which it reflects to support the uplink transmissions. And these uplink transmissions are received by the transceiver present on the light bulb. Next, we briefly describe the Edison system. So the Edison system consists of 3 main parts. So the first part consists of a Li-Fi transmitter, which is responsible for transmitting downlink information, but also to receive the uplink backscatter information. We have implemented the Li-Fi transmitter using the OpenVLC platform from India Networks. We show the OpenVLC platform and a high-level schematic of the Li-Fi transmitter on the slide. The second component of the Edison system is an edge device. It is responsible for generation of the necessary carrier signal, which is then reflected by the Edison tag. We have implemented this using a software-defined radio, but we can also use Wi-Fi router, already part of the infrastructure, for as an edge device. And the third and the most important component of the Edison system is the Edison tag, which we show on the slide, but we are going to talk in detail over the next few slides. So here we have an image of the Edison tag. It consists of four main blocks. So the first block is a Li-Fi front end, which is designed using a solar cell and is responsible for receiving downlink information. The second block is a backscatter modulator, which is responsible for supporting uplink transmission. Third is a low power microcontroller, which has necessary logic for receiving information and to transmit information and to take care of integration with sensors. And the fourth block is a power management unit, which has energy harvesting chip, capacitor bank, as well as the regulator. So here we show a high level schematic of the Edison tag, and we show how the energy flows among different components of the Edison tag. So first, a solar cell absorbs energy from the illumination. Then the harvester chip takes this energy and stores it on the capacitor bank. Next, this energy through a voltage regulator is distributed to different components of the Edison tag. To receive downlink information, one of the important contributions that we have made in the design of Edison tag is the design of an energy efficient Li-Fi receiver. Typically, Li-Fi receivers have been considered to be too energy expensive for battery-free systems. This is because they use energy expensive components such as transimpedance amplifiers and multi-bit ADCs. We have tried to avoid these components by using a solar cell in a photovoltaic mode together with a low power comparator to digitize the signal. To look at the feasibility of the use of solar cell for Li-Fi receptions, we did an experiment where we modulated a Li-Fi transmitter at a different symbol rate. Next, we kept a solar cell and illuminated with the light, and we looked at the analog voltage from the solar cell, and we observed that we could receive up to few hundred kilo symbols per second using solar cells of different type and sizes. Next, this analog voltage from solar cells have to be digitized, and we do so using a thresholding circuit design using the comparator. Together with solar cell and a low power comparator, we could receive Li-Fi transmissions at a peak power budget of about 20 microwatts. And this is similar to the power consumption of an RF envelope detector, but we don't encounter the challenge of envelope detectors that we had talked about earlier. The incoming information from the Li-Fi receiver has to be processed, and for this we have written a baseband processing logic, and this logic is an event based and interrupt driven. We show the state diagram of the logic on the slide, and we have optimized it for low power consumption. And the key philosophy has been to keep the microcontroller as much as possible in the low powered states. You can read more about the design of this logic in our publication. Finally, to support the uplink transmission, we have implemented the backscatter modulator based on my earlier work LoRa, which was presented in Census in 2017. We show the schematic of the LoRa on the slide, which consists of oscillators, multiplexers, RF switch, and an antenna. And the power consumption of this modulator is about 70 microwatts at 868 megahertz and about 650 microwatts at 2.4 gigahertz. So in the next few slides, we are going to briefly describe some of the results that we obtained while we evaluate our Edison system. So first we looked at the downlink capabilities of the Li-Fi receiver. So in this experiment, we modulated the Li-Fi transmitter to transmit at different symbol rates, and we observed these symbols. And what we observed was that we were able to receive at a symbol rate as high as 150 kilo symbol per second without encountering any loss. And what we observed was also that we were able to do it under very modest light condition, that is in conditions that were below 200 lux. So we also looked at the ability of the Li-Fi receiver to work together with the microcontroller and the baseband processing logic. And what we observed was that the packet loss rate increased at lower microcontroller frequencies and with higher bit rates. This is expected as the microcontroller does not have enough time to process the incoming symbols, and this causes it to lose packets. But increasing the microcontroller frequency also increases the power consumption, and we saw that we at 8 megahertz we even reached power consumption close to 2 milliwatts. So looking at the energy efficient Li-Fi receiver and the baseband logic, we also evaluated the ability of the Edison tag to operate and receive Li-Fi transmission while operating only on the harvested energy. So what we observed was that first, that Li-Fi transmissions do not actually appreciably increase the harvesting time. So on the graph on the left hand side, we have the DC charging time, which means that Li-Fi transmitter was not transmitting any data. And the blue line indicates when the Li-Fi transmitter was transmitting information, and we don't see an appreciable change in the energy harvesting time. The second graph shows basically as we increase the Li-Fi symbol rate, what the packet loss rate is. And what we observe is that at a lower symbol rate, we were able to receive packets without any loss. And in fact, we were able to support continuous reception of Li-Fi data at a bit rate as high as 250 bit per second without any intermittency. And this is because of the energy efficient Li-Fi receiver and the processing logic. We also did an experiment to look at the ability of the Edison to communicate through RF backscatter mechanism. So this is the layout of the experiment. And what we observed was that in all of these experiments, we were able to communicate in a non-line of sight environment, going through multiple walls, and in a scenario which we might typically encounter in a smart home, which indicates that we are able to support a large enough communication range to support many practical application scenarios. So in conclusion, we have presented Edison, which combines the best of Li-Fi and RF-based technologies to support battery-free IoT devices. It is the first system to work at the intersection of Li-Fi and RF backscatter, and it presents several novel designs like energy-efficient Li-Fi receiver, baseband processing, as well as Li-Fi as an oscillator. And one of the key highlights of the result was that we were able to continuously receive and transmit data over Li-Fi while operating without batteries and without any intermittency. And with this, I would like to conclude my presentation. I'll be happy to take any